So hello there everyone, this is Fentonduos here, and today I'm going to be doing part 2 of a series I already started a while ago, and this is going to be my first video in like a whole month. I believe my last one was. I'm sorry that I'm kind of late to this one. I've been busy with sports and other stuff, now I'm back up. Now I'm back with it, but I've been working on other what ifs that I'll have out one tomorrow, and I'm going to be releasing this one today. This is part 2 of What If Deku Met the Creator. The what if will start right after Deku's body disappeared into smoke, which was taken away with the wind. As Aizawa said, Nesu, the boy is going to be a problem in the future. Whose class is he going to be with? To tell you the truth, Aizawa, you're going to be his teacher. Because the way he acts, other teachers might not want to deal with him. As Aizawa looked at Nesu with a depressed look, or the look that he always has, saying, "Great, thanks for telling me now, before I find him in the middle of my class staring at nothing or sleeping." Where Nesu then suddenly smiled and said, "Goodbye, Aizawa. Have fun. Have fun with the in, have fun with the interesting student that will be with you." But then Aizawa started walking away and waving bye to Nesu, even though he's really annoyed. But then after a few hours, we go to Deku, where we find him laughing about something. But then we see what Deku was watching, and it was the chat between Aizawa and Nesu, which he found really interesting because Aizawa has to deal with him for a year. Then we see Deku stop his laughter and smile, and wonder, how long has it been since I really spoken to a person? It's been 10 months since I last seen a person, ever since I learned to use creation to make food. I haven't ever decided to leave this forest, but now, out of nowhere, I have to go to a school just because heroes found me. As tears were dropping out of Deku's eyes, but he didn't know what was going on. He didn't know why he was crying or why his body was doing this to him. As he suddenly realized, am I actually crying or is it just because I'm actually wanted somewhere? But then he said, I'll just wait for tomorrow and see what happens. As Deku went to sleep, he remembered seeing a laughing face looking down at him, as the face would come into a human form. And this was late at night when he was already full asleep, like to the point where it could be he's paralyzed in his dream, with a smile. No features, just a black body with a smile and eyes on its face. But before Deku could say anything, the smile said, as always, you are weak. Calamity King. Calamity King. You haven't done anything with the powers of the Creator, and in the end, you're nothing but a failure, Isuku Midoriya, or should I say Deku. As the figure suddenly turned into Deku with a demonic look on it. After a couple of seconds, Deku was pushed into pure darkness, but suddenly light came at the end of the darkness, where Deku would then hear one more thing. Before you leave, I'll tell you this. We will meet very soon. Before waking up in cold sweat, looking around his house, but found nothing. Deku couldn't sense anything. None of his powers that were basically god abilities couldn't see or hear or find anything around him. As Deku's room under the moon, the only thing that was shining was the moonlight. As he said, I still have so much hate for people. After what she did to me, I'm still going to wonder who was the man or the thing in my dreams. Was he real or is he a part of me? As Deku, because of Deku's powers that he was given, has learned to think more before doing things that he normally wouldn't do. Then out of nowhere, Deku then decided to just close his eyes one more time and fall back to sleep. As the next few hours passed, Deku woke up in the morning to get ready for his first day of high school, when suddenly there was 5 different heroes at the door of his house. Where then Deku walked in front of them and said, if you're going to take me to this high school, then catch me." Where out of nowhere Deku disappeared in a blur, making the heroes confused and worried that they failed their job of keeping an eye on Deku. But then Nezu, who was waiting for them, and Deku only saw a random blur on the entrance of the school. But then the blur fully came into shape, and it was Deku laughing as he said, "Nezu, you really think I'm going to destroy this place just because you don't know my full life story?" Then Deku saw the sweat drop on Nezu's face as he said, "Don't worry, I'll wait here for the heroes with you, Nezu." Which gave a good or basically huge relief on Nezu as he nodded and saw Deku fall asleep in the middle of the air as he was floating, waiting for everybody, waiting for all the teachers that Deku told to catch him. 4 minutes passed or more passed as everyone was fully there after a while. As Deku was still asleep, one of the heroes said, Principal Nezu, we lost the kid," as they looked up and saw him. Nezu learned that all the heroes lost Deku after he dared them to catch him. As Nezu looked up at the air and saw the red-haired boy sleeping in the air, as Nezu suddenly spoke, "Young man, may you please wake up? We have to bring you to your class." Where Deku woke up yawning, saying, "I'm awake, no need to tell me, no need to call my name more than once." As Nezu then nodded and said, "Alright, follow me, young man." As he started walking into the school, making Deku follow him. As the heroes were right behind Deku, keeping an eye on him, making sure he doesn't do anything weird. But then suddenly somebody asked, Who's teaching? Who's teaching in my class?" AKA Deku. As he said, "Is it one of those heroes behind me?" As he then said, pointing at the teachers, where Nezu nodded yes and stopped at room 1A and called Aizawa from behind. Even though Deku could see the future, he couldn't see far enough because of his power still being locked, only giving him 3% of his real power to have the ability he has now, but not the rest of them. But then they finally reached the classroom and everyone who was waiting for Aizawa to come in. But they saw a red-haired boy walked in the class smoking as the air started shaping into words, "Hello there." As Aizawa got up and said, "Go get ready. We aren't going to do any more talking." Where everyone in the class suddenly stopped staring after no one found Deku after a couple of minutes of staring. Then Aizawa yelled, "Get out already!" But then we skip a couple of minutes, going straight to the locker room, where everyone saw the red-haired kid changing. Ida saw this as a chance to speak with Deku, but when his fingers reached Deku's shoulders, it faced straight through him, where Ida suddenly felt heavy breathing on his shoulders as he heard, "Did you need something?" Or he heard inside of his head, "Wait, did you get him?" Where Deku's red eyes were glowing bright blue, but Ida didn't know what to say because he felt like Deku's using his quirk on him, but couldn't figure out if he is. Ida then spoke, "Hello there. I see you already know me, but I don't know you, so can you introduce yourself?" "Oh, my apologies. My name is Isuku. I don't have a last name, though." No one spoke from how confused they are about a no-name kid being here. As one of the people that were in the room, the guy's changing room, was Bakugo, as he was staring at Deku, as he said, "Isuku, Isuku." The weakling disappeared a long time ago. It couldn't be him. No one remembers if he had red hair or not. The hospital wouldn't tell my mom what happened to Deku. The hospital just got told to not tell anybody about what happened to Basically, what Bakugo's trying to say, the hospital told his mother that they couldn't tell her what happened to Deku because Deku's files were somehow deleted. As we then hear Ida say, "Alright, Izuku, welcome to class 1A. But then we return back to Bakugo's thoughts as Bakugo said, "I'll keep an eye on him. This might be Izuku." but it also could not be. There's multiple people with that name around the world. Well, as Deku then said, well, thank you for the welcoming, but we have to go before we get in trouble. When suddenly, Deku disappeared into a smoke as everyone was shocked but only saw his smile before his whole body fully vanished into air and appeared next to Aizawa, who got scared when Deku appeared out of nowhere in front of him as he said, "Hello, Mr. Aizawa." Or Eraserhead, I got here before everyone else. Why are you sleeping right now? As Aizawa could see, Deku's once fully red eyes were blue. As Aizawa, who was just staring at the kid in front of him, started talking because everyone were already coming onto the field as he didn't bother to answer Deku, and Deku felt offended because class had to keep going. Aizawa started explaining to his students to throw the ball with their full power as Bakugo, who still didn't know the red-haired kid was Deku because of the new look and powers he had, was chosen by Aizawa to throw the ball first in the group as Bakugo got, let's say, I'm gonna change the how far they changed it on like the anime. I'm gonna say Bakugo threw it 950 feet in the air with his quirk. And yes, I'm gonna be giving, I forgot what are the big three on UA are, but I'm gonna be giving one of the big threes All Might's quirk instead. I'm not giving it to Bakugo. But then after a while, everyone in the class has gone through the throwing the ball. But then it was Deku's turn to throw the ball with his full strength. As everyone in the class suddenly stepped back as Deku looked at the ball with an evil smile and threw the ball as the whole field suddenly broke into pieces as everyone fell to the floor. But a few used their quirks to fly or used as a base to not fall. Then Aizawa saw that he wasn't in the floor but on top of an invisible base where it was only him and Deku as he said, "Isuku, you broke the machine," leading it to say error. So, this is Aizawa right now. So to give you the credit, you have reached a level that most of the people in the school haven't. So you have a higher grade than, what was her name, Uraraka. As Deku gave a smile and just snapped, returning everything back to normal as everything went back to normal like nothing has ever happened, which told Aizawa this kid has too many different powers, which makes this a problem. As Deku would continue with the exams, as Aizawa would tell him everything else. Everybody went through the regular exams of testing powers. We had running. Everybody has the same records as in the anime, except Deku. Deku got first place because he just teleported. He didn't fully run. As I said, all his humanly attributes were already at the peak. His body isn't fully in godhood. It's just like Percy Jackson is. He's a half demigod, not immortal, but a demigod right now. But since he's not fully accepted into the god realm with his powers, or his powers haven't fully accepted him in as the user. As Deku got first in the 40-yard dash, he actually decided to run for this one, beating people with actual quirks that boosts or enhances their speed. This is just Deku's natural speed. He basically reached light speed in under a second. He can reach Mach 10 in under 10 seconds. And I know I might be getting this wrong, but I think I forgot. I believe light speed is faster or slower than Mach 10, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm saying that right now for Deku. Strength test, Deku's punches are at least 400 kgs, which is probably, I need to do next part I'll actually say how much is 400 kgs, but for now I'll say his punches are around 1,200 pounds or 1,400 pounds. Deku's jumping power lets him jump at least, if the highest NBA vertical is 45 feet, 45 inches. Basically, Deku can jump at least, I'm gonna say 10 feet. Meaning he can jump high, he can jump high enough to reach a building with just one leap, or one leap of faith, yes. And then Deku also got first in the, I believe it was, I forgot what the other parts of the exam was, but it was just running, throwing, strength, and jumping. And control with their quirk, Deku only has 3%, so it's only, like I said, control, no, creation, destruction. I forgot the other two. I'll check it tomorrow, but the other two for now I won't say. I'll just say creation, destruction. Oh, seeker, and that's all I remember right now about the abilities of Deku, since I didn't really mention them that much on the last two episodes. The last one episode. As all the exams would be done, Deku would be announced first in all 4 of them. He was be told that he broke records, as all of these tests were just tests to see how good you are with your quirk. And on Aizawa's head, he was just thinking, this kid can teleport, somehow can manipulate his own freaking cigarette somehow, even though I don't know how a kid is smoking, or how that's even allowed. This is as I was thought. He's fast enough to reach Mach 10. My machine wasn't able to read light speed. Alright then. He also has a 400 kg strength, or aka punch. So I need to keep on doing some more tests, or keep an eye on him a bit more. I need to also go talk to Nezu about this. As Deku was just looking at Aizawa, as his eyes went back to red, he stared at him and said, as he smiled, as he suddenly just wiped his, he flashed his hand across his face, and his cigarette just popped out of nowhere. As he then snapped, and Aizawa and him swapped places. As he then said, "Ooh, this is interesting. I see what you were thinking about now. Look at this place. This view actually gives you a lot of information about people." As Aizawa suddenly saw that he was standing with everybody else, and Deku was just in his spot. As Aizawa said, "Izuku, switch with me right now." As Izuku then looked at him, as his eyes went back to blue, as he said, "Alright." And he snapped once more, and everything went back to normal. I don't remember very well if I gave Deku manipulation over time or anything else, but for now, I'm gonna erase what I said in the last episode. I'm gonna give him creation, destruction, and seeker. And the description that I gave for seeker, I think, is the ability to see the future, the past, and control the time. That's the ability that allows you to control the time. For now, I'm going to take that part of Seeker away and just call it God's Eyes. Seeker's going to be the evolution of God's Eyes. Basically, God's Eyes are when Deku's eyes turn blue. He always has them activated because he likes to see what people are. Also, God's Eyes allow you to read people's minds, before I forget to say it. These abilities allow Deku to do many cuckoo things, but also many wonderful things. So this is where I'm going to be leaving it off. From now on, I'm going to say this now before I forget. I'm going to be making episodes that are like 19 to 25 minutes long, just for me to be able to know how much I could write on my notebook, so I can be able to post the same day. Thank you guys for watching. This is Phantom Dudes here, and goodbye.